Hi there. Thanks for checking out this video. My name is Cameron White. I'm a speech language pathologist. I'm creating this video as well as I'll be making a bunch of others to teach you how to navigate and create content on ClinicSource. ClinicSource does have its own videos. A lot of them focus on how to use the documentation system, how to create scheduling, payroll. Not a lot focusing on how to actually create components, set up templates, and how to troubleshoot when problems happen. So this first video is going to focus on how to create a template from components that are already pre-existing. So later we'll get into how to create your own components. But for right now, just focusing on how to set up a template from pre-existing components. So the first thing I want you to do, if you haven't already, is open up your ClinicSource. And what you're going to want to do to create your own template is you'll see at the top there's schedule, documentation, visits, patients. You want to go to setup and you want to click on templates. That's going to bring up a list of a bunch of different things. You might see care plans, SOAP notes, and you'll see this list pops up for all disciplines. So whether you're an SLP, OT, PT. Now, like me, I'm SLP, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to this left column over here and I'm going to click on speech therapy. That just makes the list a little smaller. These are, you'll see right here where it says discipline. This only applies to speech therapists. So that way I don't have to scroll through a list of a bunch of different templates or even components when we get there that are for other disciplines other than my own. So what you're going to want to do first to create your own template is you're going to go to the top left corner. You'll see this little report form. It says new form. You want to hit that. It's going to bring up a blank screen and you're going to want to give it a title. My recommendation is that you title it like plan of care, diagnostic report, whatever you're calling it, and then in parentheses put your initials, put your name, just so others know that this is your template that you've created, so that way they don't go in there and mess it up or take things out or change anything. It does make it a lot easier. So I'll just put DX report CW. So make sure your discipline selected right here, speech therapy, OT, PT, speech, and let's do an evaluation. This is important that you change this first because if you look on this column right here, you see evaluation, all these tests and things for assessments pops up. If I switch back to the care plan, this all changes. So all of the components that are created are going to be different based on what type of plan you're working on. So let's do evaluation. So what you're going to do to add, so this place is blank. This is where your components will be added once you check the boxes. So for instance, you know, if I'm working on articulation, maybe I'm going to add in the Arizona. So it'll pop up. Again, these are already created. You shouldn't have to add any of these or create any of them. Maybe I'm going to do the self. It'll all pop up, and it'll pop up with that header assessments too. So because it's under the assessments category, when you add these in, it will fall under the assessments. So let's see. For me, like early intervention, I work a lot with young kids, so I might add the PLS. And so after you have the test you want in assessments, scroll back down. You get to the conclusion. Diagnosis and impression section is one of the sections titled. This is just a blank box. This is like a summary of your findings. Recommendations, it's going to be here too as well. And you'll notice there's like some color differences. These are components that I've made for other people, and so some of them want specific colors, and so we'll figure out how to change that. I'll teach you how to change that later. But the next thing is header and footer. So you want the speech eval header. For instance, I want that, which is right here. And again, you can just drag and drop these components around. You'll see that I'm kind of highlighting that light blue bar, and I'm just moving it up. Sometimes these don't always line up right. You might move one and then all of a sudden 3 others are moved. So you're just going to want to play with it a little bit because things like that do happen. But just create it how you want. So history, whether you want medical history, different things like that. And again, you can just drag and move them however you would like. I would really recommend looking through all the available components on the left to make sure that you have all the necessary pieces for your template that insurance is going to want you to have. So it's good, even if you don't know what some of these are. So for instance, if you didn't know what like this communication profile table looked like, well, click it and look at it, and there it is. If you need it, if you don't need it, just uncheck the box. They do give you the option of X's over here. When you're in setup, I would avoid hitting these X's. In the past, this thing has hitting the X can delete it, and that would delete it permanently from everybody. So it's best that you just kind of go back to where you check the box and uncheck it again. The next thing is when you're creating a template from already established components, you're not going to want to edit them, because whatever you, for instance, this little cogwheel right here says design template item, when you edit that, it's going to edit that component for everybody. So anyone who's pulled this component into their template, it's going to make the changes that you made to it. And so I will make a video on how you can copy these components, how you can make them your own, so that way you can change and edit and change the color or whatever you'd like to them. But if you are just pulling components that are there, been established, been created, then you do not want to edit them because that will change it for everybody else. Now, once you have your template made, the best thing to do is you're going to want to save it. So hit save over here. I'm going to delete this one. But save it, and then you're going to want it to make sure that it looks how you would want it to look. So you want to go to a patient. I recommend people having like a test patient. Just call it patient test in their list of kids on the side when you're on ClinicSource. So that way you can kind of test how these templates look by just hitting patient test, clicking the eval like you would do for any other kid, and then like opening it up, filling some stuff out, typing in the boxes, and then hitting save, and then going back into it to make sure that all of the font is the same size, all the colors look right, everything lines up appropriately, that you don't need to move anything else around. That's just an easier way. I'm not going to show you right now just because I don't want to go back to where I have a list of all my kiddos and stuff like that, just for HIPAA rights and things. But I will in the future have a video, a separate profile that I'll have to be able to show you that more in detail. But that is basically how you create a template from components that already exist. I'll go into mine real quick. A lot of these, I made every one of these by myself. So you might not have some of these sections in there, but eventually you can have this nice looking, uniform template with everything you need in it. And again, we'll get to how to create your own components, but for right now, if you're just looking to have an eval, make it. You're not looking into make any changes to the existing components in the way they are, then you can just build a template just using these boxes over here. I can still add components if I wanted to this one. But all right, so thanks for checking out the video. I'm definitely going to have more to come. So you can leave a comment if you'd like about what you thought of the video, as well as what videos you'd like to see in the future, or what problems that you're having as far as troubleshooting goes. I'll definitely make those. All right, see you later.